Homeless veterans. There should not be a single homeless veteran in America. But in Milwaukee, 1 of every 4 homeless persons is a veteran, and 300 to 400 veterans are homeless on any given day. Over the course of a year, 4 times that many are homeless for a period of time. An additional 5,500 local veterans are classified as at risk because they are living below the poverty line, spending more than half of their incomes on housing or living with another family. These veterans need the help and they deserve it. Today, Salem is going to donate items to support the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative and the homeless veterans they serve. Thank you to everyone who brought in an item to donate. You helped to make a positive difference in the life of a veteran. Please welcome Ms. Kirsten, Sobieski, the Executive Director of the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. I want to let you know how honored I am to be here today to spend this beautiful day with you and your celebration of Veterans Day for all of the veterans in our country. Daniela and Nick could not have summed it up better as to what a veteran is. Just being here today reminds me of the very first time I was in a school. I love coming to schools to talk to kids about vets, especially homeless vets. But the very first time I talked to a group of kids, a little boy said to me, "Well, wait, I thought you were coming to talk to us about dog doctors that didn't have a place to live." So, unfortunately, sometimes the word vet or veteran is one that is not really recognized by the people in our country. This is the first time in history, just in the most recent history, since the downscaling of the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, that the majority of the country has been disconnected from its veterans. The reason why is we have 1 million veterans that have returned home from the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and another 1.5 million that are yet to come back. That only represents less than 5% of our nation's population. For the first time in history, most people in our nation do not have a relative that has served in a war. So we can understand how difficult it might be for some people to understand the struggles and the frustrations of how our returning vets are trying to re-assimilate back into our society. Unfortunately, even though we have parades and homecomings in the airports for our veterans, sometimes the homecoming and the subsequent time spent at home is difficult, even more difficult than the battle that they face overseas. There are a number of reasons why veterans become homeless. Most of them don't become homeless the minute they get back from wherever they served. But it's important for us to be able to recognize the signs and the effects of what they're experiencing and how we can help them as a community to try and make their experience back home as positive as it can be. That's where organizations like mine, the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative, come in. Since 2008, we have helped over 1,200 veterans and their families ease back into life at home. And we've helped them establish a home. Sometimes when our veterans are coming home, they don't have a place to call home anymore. A lot of times men and women enter into the military to escape a life that was not a positive situation for them. Maybe they entered the military in the last recent years because of the economic downturn in our country. And they're coming home to find that they can't find a job. Well, without a job, it's kind of hard to get a home. So organizations like mine do all we can to fill the gaps to make sure that our veterans are able to attain their highest level of independence. It's very difficult for a veteran to admit that he or she needs help. The men and women who served in our military are regarded as the strongest and bravest people in our country. It's very difficult to come home to that expectation, knowing that a serviceman or servicewoman is struggling with things in their life. So often they don't ask for help. That's where it's important for all of us to be able to recognize what we need to do to help them. Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative has a motto: we don't leave our wounded behind. That is one of the most important things that we all recognize when we are in battle. Even during times of peace, when you enlist in the military, you're there for your battle buddy. You don't turn your back. That is what we do here at Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative. We are a boots on the ground organization. What that means is that we go to where we are needed. Myself and 5 of the people that work in my organization are veterans. We can identify with and earn the trust of the veterans that we serve in a way that it's not always easy for others to do. So with that, we've also recognized that there are numerous volunteers that want to help. Many of our volunteers served in the military too. It's a tradition throughout the military, and it's something that we continue once we're here at home. It's a life of service. Service begins even before you're in the military. But for so many of us that have served, we just feel we need to give back in a way, and sometimes we feel that it's never enough. But we know that even the little differences that we can make in somebody's life are life-changing events and can make a world of difference for somebody who's in need. Our homeless and at-risk veterans have many different backgrounds and walks of life. But what we've been able to identify is that by providing the basic need and security of a home and all of the things that come along with it, all of the other things can and will eventually go in order and fall back into place. So the most important thing that we know is that we need to get all of our vets that are sleeping outside on the floor, sleeping in an apartment on the floor, we need to get them in a bed. Our home support program is how we start. Through the donations, through people in our community, through businesses, through corporations, we are able to deliver beds and mattresses and household furniture to over 400 veterans every year. This year alone, we have helped move to at least 2 veterans a day into a new living space. We do this through the donations and through the generosity of our community. We also help veterans in times of crisis with an emergency food pantry, and that's why things that are collected either in schools or in businesses, clothing drives, food drives, all of those things go directly to our veterans. We're able to do this, once again, with the generosity of people in our community, and the drive that you guys conducted, the cards that you wrote. I heard today that you wrote over 800 cards. That just warms my heart so much. Because these veterans that we're going to be bringing your cards and your donations to are going to know it came directly from you. And that's very heartwarming for anybody to know that they're cared for and that you kids took time to do this for them. So I appreciate everything that you've done. Besides the 300 to 400 people in our community that are homeless on every given day, we know that 3 to 4 times as many will be at risk throughout the year. We don't ask why they're in the situation that they're in. We don't have to. We understand. We're veterans ourselves. But what we do is give them the reassurance that we can help them attain the benefits and the resources they need to live independently. Our organization, as I said, was started by veterans for veterans. Most of our volunteers and staff members are veterans. 3 of our staff members were formerly homeless themselves. It's a very good feeling to know that in their way of paying it forward, they're able to now work for us and be a true testimonial of how our organization has worked for so many. Our goal is to fill the gaps, not duplicate the services that others provide. With this, we're constantly evolving as the need arises for more and more resources and services for veterans. I want you to consider something now after today. For the most part, when you think of a veteran or a person in the military, you probably think of a pair of black combat boots, which is what the majority of our military troops wear. I want you to now consider this little pink boot that I have on my shirt. The reason why I'm wearing this little pink boot is because in the last few years, we have recognized and worked with a number of families who are homeless. Either the mother or the father in these families served our country. The very first time our organization delivered furniture to a family, we didn't even realize what effect it would have on us as an organization. Our two veterans that delivered the furniture to this particular family noticed a little girl who was about 2.5 years old. We had just picked up some donations from somebody else that were on the back of the truck, and one of the guys said, you know, I think we have a little pair of boots that might fit that little girl. It was winter, and her father told us that she didn't even have a winter coat or boots to get her through that winter. So sure enough, he pulled the little pink boots out of the bag, and they fit. It's stories like this. We can't put a number on how many stories, how many people we are able to help in a given year that we don't even realize we're helping. When it's something so unexpected that can change a person. These are life-changing events. The families that we help, the kids that we're helping, we didn't expect this. But every year, we've seen an increase. Every month, we've seen an increase. From now on, please remember the little kids of the moms and dads who serve their countries, that are sleeping in a car, that are sleeping in a street, that we haven't found yet. And please know that that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. That's how we will continue until we can find every single one of these children and their parents, their moms and dads. As Nick and Daniela said, a veteran can be a woman. That is something that a lot of women who served in the military don't even realize. There are many things that women experience when they serve in the military that leave them with a less than positive experience when they come home. Unfortunately, things happen in service that many servicemen and women especially want to forget once they come home. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't be honored. That does not mean they shouldn't receive the benefits and the resources that they're entitled to. So another one of our programs and our goals for the coming years is to reach out to women who have served in the military and let them know that they are a veteran too. They wore the uniform, they served their country. They're a veteran. So if you know of any women in your family, maybe your mom, maybe a grandmother, maybe an aunt, a cousin, maybe a big sister, thank them for being a veteran. Once again, tomorrow is a very important day for all of the veterans that have served in our nation's military in the years past and all of the veterans yet to come. Please be sure to thank them just as much as I'm thanking you for what you've done for us today and what you'll do for all of the veterans when we deliver your cards and your donated items. There's no greater country than ours. We are all very privileged to be living in the United States. But freedom comes at a price. And for all of those that were able to make the sacrifice so that the rest of us can have freedom, please keep them in your thoughts and your prayers as we continue, as we bring them home, and as we honor them in the future. Thank you very much.
Eddie, Patrick Howell, and Garrett Evans, and we are part of Student Senate. Salem School collected the following items to donate to the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Intensive.
50 rolls of paper towels, 43 boxes of Ziploc bags, 117 rolls of dental floss, 25 towels, 38 bottles of shampoo, 31 shower curtains.
17 cans of deodorant, 100 bars of soap, 400 toothbrushes, 16 cans of shaving cream, 127 tubes of toothpaste, 36 packages of shower curtain rings, and over 800 thank you cards. Thank you to everyone who donated.